Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War stream, a World Lore event, week 7, day 6. So today, of course we did finish up World Lore, however, what we do still have going on, of course, is the Vault event. We are currently at 5 Vault keys. Unfortunately, was not really able to get much grind in earlier. As you guys saw, we didn't end up having the stream earlier. However, we could end up making up for lost time now, and hopefully we'll end up getting at least 2 Vault keys like we did last night. Ended up actually going over pretty well. We almost got as many during the night stream as we did during the daytime, so hopefully we can repeat that. Also, they're doing International Cat Day today. We will be getting a bunch of resources from this, specifically 2 gem keys and 4 event keys, among some small little gold keys there, as you can see. But obviously the bigger loot being the lower 2 keys that actually cost gems. But there we go. We'll go and actually I should probably go for that first, since we're mostly just going to be grinding anyways. So we'll go hunt for those 2 targets and then go from there. We'll start with Adventure Board actually. Let's start with the International Cat Day. Why not? Should be pretty straightforward. They do go up to, I believe, legendary rarity as far as like how hard their thingies are, as far as their normal stats. So they do go a little bit higher for the end one, but you know, obviously still very much doable. Still very much doable. But anyways, hello everyone. Hope all of you have been having a wonderful weekend so far. Hello Drock Savage. Hello Simpleman. Hello Bill. Hello Chad. Hello Isabel. Hello Cookie. Hello Durade. Hello Captain. And hello Jason. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. Okay, what do we need here? Get our manas. Also, hello, Wagamora. Yeah, let's go for Splode. Splode all the things. I believe that into Split's actually enough damage to kill for the final battle. Pretty sure it will be. Goes to 11,000 stats, so that's about, like, level 7 pet battle, I believe. Somewhere around there. Oh, and we got a Glory Gnome already. First gnome on the stream. Luckily all of its drops are good. Hopefully it's 1,000 or a key. Either or would be great. Only one way to find out. What do we get? Ah, 1,000, nice. But how our Vault keys have been going so far? I'm almost, I almost prefer the 1,000 glory instead of the Vault key. They've been going much luckier for us lately. Yeah, I keep getting I keep getting Raid Shadow Legend ads on my videos. I noticed that. A lot of videos have them on. But I've been noticing that most of them lately on my channel have been. Hey, 4 event key. Oh, never mind. I thought that was a gnome drop for a second. What was I gonna say? That's funny. Never mind. This is the one that we get from the International Cat Day. Definitely thought that was a gnome for a second. It threw me off because, wait, they should only give you 3, not 4. But yeah, it's because International Cat Day. And of course, we already got the pet for that on Wednesday. Today I just did the other loot since it's the actual day of it. Okay, one more set. Then we'll go clear through dungeons, and then we can go on hunts. Hopefully we can get that Vault key number up. But how many Vault keys you guys at these days so far? Obviously we are at 5. There's been enough time that there's someone out there who's already hit 20. You would have to have grinded a lot, though, for that. Hello, Sir Rasma. Welcome. Well, it might feel a little bit less compared to last time. Well, a lot bit less. Because, the last one was buffed way more than normal. Which might make this one seem a lot less in comparison. Because if you compare it to last time, the loot will definitely look worse. Also, we got a pet we need to go do. We'll go clear through dungeons first, though. And then we'll go mess with that. Dungeons. Let's go clear through these. 25 Volky so far. Nice. You have none because Animal Crossing has taken over. What do we need here? Let's go for Explosion. Go for a big hit first. I guess that should wipe, and it does. There we go. Okay, next order of business. Let's begin, or continue the hunt. Switch to armor. Actually, never mind. Switch back to magic. Actually makes more sense for what we're using. Go to Zhejian. And we're doing it on Explore 2, so both weapons will be able to one-shot it. Yeah, I have 5 Volkies, but all of them have been completely useless. Best drop we've gotten so far was Major Orange, which is obviously also pretty bad. But hopefully one of these gnomes will give us a good Volky today. And that reminds me, I didn't check to see if Salty gave us more codes yet today. The answer to that is probably no. And it is no. And it is a no. Hopefully by Monday or so. Not sure if she even has access to be able to hand them out right now. Which might be why. She hasn't even like contacted a reply back to me yet though. Ah, don't say that. I believe they're still in lockdown, aren't they? Oh, you're still at 0? Ouch. Yeah, it can happen sometimes. We've gone an entire Vault event, grinding the entire time and got 0 before. It has only ever happened once to me, though. Are the daily deeds of ice, etc. worth it? I only ever went for the purple one. I would say Imperial is always worth it. As far as the color ones, I only ever went for purple. And the main reason for that is purple goes to Magic Kingdoms. And there's 4 of them. But as far as the base color deeds, or you know, the ones that are Imperial, I've only ever gone for purple. Unless you have an extreme excess of gems, I wouldn't really go for the other colors. And by extreme excess, I mean like over 50,000 gems or something. Oh yeah, I need to go do the pet rescue. You're correct. The pet's actually extremely low too. We definitely need to make sure we go do it. I think it's Drug Zoom pet, so you're very rarely going to be using Drug Zoom though. I guess if you ever use Bloodhammer Glaceon, then maybe we'll get some synergy into the future. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Also, we're already set to the right banner, which is one nice thing about setting it to magic. Because it basically covers everything. We can run daily with it, we can run pet with it, and with the format that we're doing for Explore, we can run Explore with it, so it covers everything. All the basic dailies that we'd want to go do. without having to switch our banner, without having to switch our tokens, I mean. And already hit our 20 there. Could you suggest a soul farming team that doesn't use Fair Shra? There's a couple different variants. The cheapest you can go is triple Warlock into Valkyrie. Warlock is the cheapest thing in the entire game that has Necromancy. And Valkyrie just feeds mana into it and gives souls. Next best bet is something like Dragon Soul, anything, 2 things with Necromancy, with Azurus being the best, but any Necromancy would work. Followed by a last slot of hero class using Purple Storm. Ideally as Necromancer, but it can be pretty much any hero class that has Purple Storm. Next upgrade from there would be to replace our hero with Umbral, potentially. And then from there, replacing the Azuruses eventually with Fair Shras. But without Fair Shra, yeah, you wouldn't be able to do that. There is one other strategy, though it requires a lot of damage to be able to do. But if you can Sacrificial Priest to have enough damage to kill a level 1 Explorer, you can run Phylactery, Sacrificial Priest, and then 2 Necromancies behind it. Or 1 Necromancy and a Mana Generator, I mean. Obviously, you'd ideally want that to be Fair Shra, but you could just run any Necromancy there, like Azurus or something. And you can end up running that for pretty good value. But most standard soul farming teams tend to be based around Dragon Soul for the most part. Though there are a few other builds. That's pretty much the full list. That wasn't enough damage. Let's see, we'll take that then. We're in pet battles, of course that wouldn't be enough damage yet. The last 2 to 3 battles doesn't actually have enough damage for. Depending on the game mode. And the final one. I should have held, what's it called? I always do that. You should actually go and manually get the mana up first. Because you normally want to save your Leprechaun for when she goes down to 0 mana from casting her ability. Ah, there we go. How many copies do we get? Come on, 3, or at least 2. Ah, only 1, fail. Still need another 22. A lot of copies. One of the more recent ones. I think it came out several months ago. That actually is considered recent for a pet. Pretty much anything within the last year is considered recent for a pet, I would say. Due to how slowly pets come into the game. With how random they are that you'd specifically get the one you're actually looking for. Yeah, I'm not sure of any location that tracks mythics anymore. We do know that it's a relatively new drop table, so almost everything's in the drop table right now. However, we don't have any tool that I'm aware of that's keeping track of Soulforge now. There might be some people still keeping track of it, but I'm not aware of a tool that's doing it. However, Terran's World's one wasn't perfect, so maybe someone will eventually make one even better than Terran's World. Because Terran's World never told you what was still like available in the drop table. It only ever told you like what the current cycle was and what has happened. It didn't actually break down like a full list of what was still potentially available for the following week. And a tool that ever did that would be very convenient. Interesting to see if someone ever makes one. Yes, I get distracted by things very, very, very easily. Also because my mind goes all over the place constantly. It isn't necessarily a low attention span. It's mostly just my brain keeps wanting to think of a billion things at once. And then forgets what it's currently thinking about. I'm pretty sure they data mined all of it from the files. It used to be really easy to access the files on the PC version, but then they made it much harder. That's still possible too. Let me cast. Stop doing stats effects. There we go. That weapon actually is enough to one-shot. Whole reason why we're actually running it right now. I ran it that very first event week, just because we had to use a club. And then I never bothered changing it, but it's actually pretty good. So I just keep it as it. Theoretically, any Doom weapon that doesn't block Rowan could go there, though. Doesn't have to be club. And obviously you can use literally anything there that doesn't block Rowan. Still work great. But there are quite a few instances where we have like a 5 times of the weapon color or a leprechaun that feeds more into that somehow. That will actually allow us to cast that, but not Rowan. It's rare that we get a board like that, but they do occur. Yeah, there were a lot of unused assets for the game in the past. Not sure if anyone else has found anything interesting in that regard, data mining recently. But there used to be a lot of unused assets for things that were like planned for the game but then never implemented. You went through more gem keys than glory keys and eventually got on the glory keys. It's kind of funny. Yeah, that's some pretty unfortunate luck though. Yeah, they were made mention in the past that they were eventually thinking of an overworld. It is very likely to be the thing after Delves. There's even a rumor that it could be in 5.0, but obviously it wasn't. But it's definitely planned. When exactly, we have no clue, but they have a year until Underworld runs out of options. Because in a year from now, we will have... hey, a Volky! But a year from now, we will have every faction in the game. And to maintain something that's like a kingdom every single month, or however they want to do it, they're going to need some kind of new area. Hey, so I guess it was added in 5.0. Haha. It just wasn't added to the game. It was added to the game files. See? Overworld was added in 5.0. Just not directly to the game. Well, it has to be within the next year, so I assume the big patch after the first patch of next year, the first big patch of next year will probably be Overworld, which is normally around like January, February or so, unless they do a mini patch before then, which in case it would probably be February or March or so. But oh, so we got 100 gems there, nice. That's actually our best drop so far off of Vault Key this weekend. It's nice. But if I had to guess, it's probably February or March. But who knows? It could be later or earlier, or I mean, sometime this year. However, if they're still planning on doing the arena treasure hunt rework, that's going to take up at least one patch. The last patch of the year is normally a mini patch, not like a super major patch. So that's 2 patches around that time. So it does mean that the Octoberist patch or so could be the big one around October. Because the next patch we're getting probably won't be like extremely massive. The patch that we got as our next patch last year was Deeds. However, the patch we got after that was the entirety of the token system and the Explorer rework. So we definitely last year got the bigger patch in October rather than in September. And then the other 2 were kind of just like little smaller ones, which is what normally happens the last 2. And this the year the 2 smaller ones are likely going to be the Treasure Hunt Arena rework, which might not actually be that small. And then whatever they do for the final patch of the year, which normally isn't anything too huge. But yeah, I don't really foresee it happening this year. Because if it was to happen this year, the Overworld, its most likely time would be October. Because I doubt it would be the next patch. And the last 2 patches of the year are likely to be something and the arena treasure hunt rework. But sometimes assets for something within the game are in the files way before it actually happens. For example, the assets for Guild Wars were in the game when it launched, yet it was never added till like, what, 2.5 years into the game? 2 years? Whatever it was. They used completely different assets for it when they actually ended up implementing it, though. But assets that were likely going to be used for Guild Wars that never were in the game all the way from the beginning. You heard part of what you were stated on the other stream about Heart of Rage being most likely something consumed in crafting, was it? Yes, it is very likely to be consumed in crafting. We already know it's going to be used to craft something. However, we don't know if it'll be consumed when it is crafted because we've never actually been able to craft something out of troops before. We've been able to do it out of weapons and it didn't get consumed. However, troops could be a different situation. But there's a possibility it would get consumed when crafting a thing. But we know 100% it will be used to craft something. What exactly, we don't know. And if it will be consumed or not, we also don't know. And also when we will be able to actually use it, we also don't know. But they've already confirmed that it will be used to craft something in one way, shape, or form. How many different banner combinations can there be? Oh, I forget the math on that. I don't know that off the top of my head. Probably a lot. Because if you count -1 into every +2/+1 combo, you're probably talking many thousands, if not almost millions. Because the -1 really adds a lot more combinations to it. It is impossible for us to ever have every single banner in existence due to the -1 aspect. But it's definitely at least thousands upon thousands. Let's see if we throw that down. Can you explain how it is better that troops function based on how much manner they need to be fueled by? Example 9, 11, 13, etc. Hope you understand your question. I'm not sure I do. Can you explain how it is better that troops function based on how much mana they need to be filled by? I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. If you could maybe rephrase it some. Well, the difference is it's a weapon and not a troop. Because Heart of Rage is a troop. But Xenos components and Dawnbringer components were both weapons. They were not troops. Because weapons are, you only ever get them once, and then you have them forever. But troops, oh no, they might not be the same kind of functionality. If all the colors in a single banner are different, there are only 6 5 times 5 times 4 possibilities for 120, combined with combinations for +2, +1, +1. I mean -1. Is it that low? Seems like it would be higher than that. Might be overthinking it though. Let's see. When will be the next update? We don't currently know. However, generally mid-August or early September is the patch time. There hasn't been a beta yet. So based on that, they might not even do a beta for next patch though. I would probably say late August or early September. Because around this time last year, we got deeds in very early September. So probably really early mid-September would probably be the patch time this year. And then the one after that is normally around like mid-late October or so. And last year around that time we got the Explorer rework and tokens, which is one of the bigger patches we actually got all last year. And how many patches will we have this year? 3 to 4 more patches. The likely times for them are late or early to mid-September, mid-October or so, and then always one pretty much right before the end of the year at December, and then potentially one in November. So that's 3 or 4. But the most likely 3 are definitely the early September-ish one or mid-September, the October-ish one or late October, and then the December one, kind of like either like midway through December or so. There's a possibility we'll have a 4th one, but if we do, it's going to be a really small patch. The only ones that are likely to be substantial are the one around October, and potentially the one before the end of the year, if it's the Arena Treasure Hunt rework, potentially. I feel like Arena Treasure Hunt rework would be the November update, though. The October and November one. I have no clue what next update will be, though. And I don't feel like we're getting Overworld this year. It's something that's almost guaranteed going to happen. But I don't really foresee it being this year. Very early next year seems more likely. Even as the first patches of next year. It'll be interesting to see when we finally hit 20-star Kingdom. Obviously, we don't have any 20-star Kingdoms yet. 19 is as far as several of them go. But we are getting very close to finally getting them. 20-star Kingdoms are a bit relevant because they give a whole additional stat. And that's relevant because 34 Kingdoms each getting an additional stat is quite a lot. Obviously, quite a few of them are still ways away from that. But several of them are very close to striking distance of becoming 20-star plus. And there is a potential that we get a patch this year that finally brings stars above 20. I don't think we're going to get a patch doing deeds higher. But they did say after a year that they might. And as of September, it would have been a year. But it seems more likely stars would get expanded prior to the other thing getting expanded. However, there's also a possibility they would both get expanded in the same patch. We already know that stars are going to go from 20 to 30 at some point. Maybe it'll go incrementally to 25 first, but I'm pretty sure they just do it all the way to 30, even though they have no intention of getting there anytime soon. And level 50, 20-star. Ooh, is that the case? I didn't actually check. That'd be pretty interesting. If we actually end up getting 20-star then. Is the stream down? It looks up to me. Is it? Let's see. I don't know, is it down? From my end, it looks like it's still up. Let's see, we'll move that over. Grab that. Get our explosion. I didn't pay attention. What did we get to Gnome? I think it was 500 glory. Fortunately not its best drop, but luckily not its worse. Come on, let's get our second vault key tonight. That is not a vault key. If anyone still has any questions or anything you want me to go over, let me know. What can we do here? No good extra turns. Can't even cascade it. We can cascade like full mana on everything. But no extra turns. It still feels so weird not getting Class XP anymore for anything. I went such a long time like needing to always like use a hero class to get some XP. Feels so weird finally having them all maxed now. What's my verdict on Battle Pass? I still hate that they're paywalling stuff. It's always been worth the money, or at least the $10 one. I just hate the system that they're doing with it. It is technically worth it relative to other ways that you can spend money on the game. And the annoying way of obtaining all this stuff after the fact is so annoying that it's probably just worth it in most situations just to put the money down. If you're planning on going 100% completionist on the game. But then that does starts costing like, what, $50 a year to play the game? Which isn't exceedingly high for like a membership kind of like thing. But still more than nothing. I'll throw that down. You can still get it for free, technically. However, it is at a much delayed time. And it is by very annoying means. So yes, you can technically get it for free. With in-game resources. But it is delayed by weeks, if not months, in many situations. Every single one of the rewards. Plus, the amount of resources you would need is exceedingly high. Like to craft a mythic. Craft all the weapons. Get the pet to max, stuff like that. Well, the problem with it is sometimes the mythic can be meta, and then a guild war comes around, and then people who didn't buy the pass don't have the troop, but everyone who did buy the pass did. Yeah, it would have been interesting if they had some kind of recurring thing that you could do with the pass. Most battle passes do have that. Like, even if you reach a wall, they have something that you can do if you're going to be playing, like, a lot to still gain a reward. I know Clash Royale, once you've acclaimed every single one of the rewards, you could then claim additional gold, which was used to, you know, it was basically the secondary currency of the game. Not the premium, but the main one that you would use for everything. That wasn't the premium currency. But it basically gave you a way to gain more gold just by simply doing battles. But yeah, it would have been interesting if the pass had something like that. Or you could still keep gaining additional rewards based on something. Like maybe have some kind of objective every single week. And if you do a certain amount of it up to a certain point threshold, you would still gain additional rewards. Something that could potentially happen in any battle or something a little bit more focused. Like for one of the weeks, they could have gave like a small amount of souls for every like, I don't know, 10 undead you kill. Like 100 souls for every 10 undead. Something like that. Something that you wouldn't really go out of your way for it, but it would still be something a little bit extra. And it'd be something that you could keep repeating over and over again. But yeah, the Battle Pass system can be looked at as pretty much like an early access system. Not only do you have to spend, not only do you not have to spend in-game resources for it, but you also get it earlier. Oh, sorry, Chad. What was your question? I feel like I always miss your question, Chad. Sorry about that. What was your question? I don't see it. Let's see. The question you asked earlier I couldn't understand, which is why I didn't answer it. I read it. I don't understand the question, though. Yeah, it's only $1 a week, which is nowhere near as bad as some models for games. Have people quit the game over it? Yes. There have been people that have quit the game over the Battle Pass system. Almost every single patch, people find a reason to quit. It could be a patch about almost anything, and people will find a way. Actually, the patch that lost the highest amount of player base was actually when they redid the graphics for the game. And most people who play the game now probably don't even know that the graphics of the game was, like, different prior. Like 2.5, 3 years ago, they did a drastic, actually it's almost 3 years ago, they did a drastic overhaul of quite a few visuals in the game. Not of troop art and stuff like that, but of a lot of other things within the game. And I believe that was the largest dip of people quitting ever. Hey, people look at the game now and they probably don't even know which, like, assets changed when they did that patch. But yeah, a lot of free-to-play games have been doing battle passes and similar lately. Kind of seems like the free-to-play trend in the current state these days in gaming. I'm not completely against it, but I don't know. I still find it to be a kind of weird system. Is Amarak the only mythic available at the moment? In Glory Gem Guild and VIP keys, yes. However, you can still open event keys to get Silverglade troops. Silverglade drops. Well, $10 might sound high, but it's spread across 10 weeks, so it's theoretically $4 a month. And most games do like $5 plus for their thing. But it definitely starts adding up. Well, one thing I do like about the pass system in Gems of War is that stuff is obtainable after the fact. However, the stuff that you actually get from the pass is pretty lackluster. Like, almost every single week, there's nothing to be, like, super excited about getting. The only super exciting thing that you get in the entirety of the pass, this current pass, is the very last drop. Every other thing is pretty much just dead content just for collection purposes. Because every single week that goes by, we're getting, like, there's nothing to be super excited for. Like, the first week we got a useless weapon. Then the next week we got a useless portrait and a pet that is cosmetic and useless. Then we just get a troop, the epic troop that is useless. Then we get another weapon that is useless. Then we get more copies of something we already had. Some emojis. More copies of stuff we already had and some portrait. Some stuff that we already have. Heart of Rage, which is completely useless and basically just a crafting material for something. And then we get the actual interesting thing, which is the very, very last one, all the way at the end. So it is a little bit weird in that regard. No legendary room in World event this week? No. They're all the same ultra rare rarity in one epic room. But it's kind of weird how it's set up this week. Just make sure to always do the epic room every time you see it. Because that's the one that gives all the points, or at least most of the points. Oh, theoretically, the pet is worth about 2,500 gems. In the sense that if you want to max a cosmetic pet, it would cost you about 2,500 gems. Even though that's not as exciting, that is actually one of the bigger loots that you get from it. The two biggest loots that you get from this current pass is a maxed out pet, even though it's cosmetic, and the mythic. The mythic is worth 4,000 diamonds. And the pet is worth 2,500 gems, theoretically. Obviously, there's not much of a point in normally maxing out a cosmetic pet, other than potentially for kingdom upgrades. However, if you were to do so, 2,500 gems is approximately the average cost that it would take to do so. Oh yeah, Salty's doing that one stream this Monday. I still need to think of things for it. Hello, Nexus. Tesla teams, no mythic. Triple Dwarven Gate Tesla. Mountain Crusher double Tesla into Holy Saint Astra, which gives 50% mana start to her. And pretty much any mana generator double Tesla. They and those teams would kind of work. You normally want to build her around spamming her ability as much as possible. You don't normally need an armor gain, though you theoretically could use an armor gain too. It's normally not worth it though. Hello, Barbara. Welcome. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that either. If anyone doesn't have the achievement for maxing out a pet, you can literally just buy the achievement for $10. Because that is actually a pretty unobtained achievement currently. The amount of people that has obtained it on PC version of the game is currently standing on pretty low last I checked. Let me check. I think it's 5%, maybe less. Let's see. Where is it? I know there's an achievement for maxing a pet. Where is it? It's somewhere's in here. There it is. Only 2% of players on PC version have actually done it. Get a pet to level 20. However, you would still need the pet food. You don't get all the pet food that you're going to need from the pass, I don't believe. You do get some amount of pet food. I don't think it's enough to max them, though. Though, who knows? Maybe it actually is. I wasn't paying much attention to it. Because the pet food just seemed like a smaller drop. It gives you all the copies to get it to 20, but I'm not sure if it gives you 100% the pet food. I could double check. Pretty sure it doesn't, but it might actually do so. Let me see. What color was the pet anyways? The pet was of color... Oh, where's the Carandera pet? There it is. It is of the color red. Do we get enough red pet food or in white pet food to max it? Let's see. Well, this gives us a bunch of purple, which is not his color. You get some white. You get some more white and then some green. You get some white and then some yellow. Where's the red? You don't get any red. That's weird. Why wouldn't they give food corresponding to the color of the pet? So you'd still need the food to go max it. Because for whatever reason, you don't get any red pet food. You get purple, you get green, and you get yellow, and obviously white. But at no point do you end up getting red, which is the color he actually needs. It's kind of weird that they don't have that there, despite having 3, or technically 4 other pet foods. Yeah, that's weird. You get literally 0 red, which is what you need for him. Nowhere isn't the thing, does it give any red. But you do get 60 white, I believe it is. Actually, higher than 60. You get 120 white, which is almost enough to max out any pet you wanted. But I do believe it falls a little bit short. Not by much. Are the stats for Artifact worth it if you're playing 100% free-to-play? Yes. If you're planning on using them for delves. If you're going to go use them to try to do delves, they can be pretty worth it. Because if you can do even 1 level 500 pure factions without potions, due to those extra artifact effects, or, you know, the extra stats that you get, it was instantly worth it at that point. So if you're planning on trying to get like a level 500 delve done on the 10th week, and actually get one done, you basically got way more than your value out of doing the entirety of the campaign, even though everything else is pretty lackluster from it. Oh no, even if you're playing free-to-play, I would still do the campaigns and all the tasks related to it. Loot's overall pretty bad, but the stats are beneficial for various things within the game, particularly Underworld, but technically it applies everywhere, of course. The other big area it helps, even though most people don't really care as much about it, is Guild Wars. Has a pretty big effect on that. They made mention that they're likely doing a rebalance patch, possibly this year, actually. They said from the 5.0 that they were going to do it in a separate patch, which could potentially mean this year they're planning a rebalance patch. We haven't got one for a while, like a long while, like a long while. The meta hasn't shifted for almost a year and a half now. Actually, the meta hasn't shifted since tokens came into the game. And it wasn't even because troops became rebalanced, it was just because tokens existed. But the meta hasn't shifted since October of last year. And has been the same pretty much since. Because they don't have enough food. You can still reach there's actually 2 reasons for that. One is because just because you got max faction to get the pet doesn't mean you have enough pet food for it. But the second one is there was a glitch when that achievement first came out that if you reach 2,500 renown, you got the achievement. And obviously that glitch has been fixed since then. However, for a short duration of time, a lot of people who still do not have a maxed out faction actually have that achievement. Because at one point when the patch came out around that time, simply having 2,500 total renown gave you the achievement. Even if it wasn't all in one delve. Because originally it was set to 2,500 total, not 2,500 for a single delve. That's obviously been fixed, but it lasted long enough that enough people got it that it skewed that number to be higher than it actually should be. Oh no, they made mention that they might. I'm hoping for either a troop rework this year or the final treasure hunt arena rework finally coming in that they've been mentioning for a while now. It'd be really interesting if treasure hunt actually became viable to do. Right now it's good for gems, but it's not so good that you would go out of your way just to do it later in the game because tribute just covers so much. Is there an event this weekend? Yes, Vault event. That's what we're currently grinding. If you quick kill one trophy casual PvP or explore, they run through the quickest amount of battles, and these are generally great locations to try to farm the Vault event. And currently we have found 6 Vault keys. The most recent one had 100 gems in it, which has actually only been our only good Vault key this entire time. All my other Vault keys were pretty bad. Oh, sorry, next weekend. I forget what next weekend is. We should. Every single weekend going forth should have an event. I'm not sure when our first raids weekend is. There's actually a chance next week could be our first raid weekend. We have yet to get a raids weekend. It's something that, as of the most recent patch, can now occur. But we have yet to have our raids weekends. Obviously, we've had many raids events, but never specifically on a weekend. Yes, as Kalthos mentioned, definitely feel free to like the stream. Helps out a lot. If anyone still has any other questions, do let me know. Because after a couple more sets, we'll probably call it a wrap for tonight. Not sure if we'll be able to find another Vault key, but we're sitting on 6, which isn't horrible. But could be better. Yeah, Chad, I read your question earlier, and I didn't understand what you were asking either. If you could rephrase it some way, I could probably answer it, but I have no clue what you were trying to ask. How can you grind over 800 trophies through Explore, PvP, and Arena and not get a single Vault key? Very bad luck. I've gone over 20 hours with 0 Vault keys before. Not recently, it only ever happened once. But you can definitely get ultra unlucky. Yeah, this event is a normal event. Last event was buffed a lot. So if you're trying to compare this event to last week, it's going to seem like you're getting nothing. Because this is a normal Vault event right now. Whereas last week's Vault event was extremely buffed compared to normal. For a special one-off event due to the 5.0 patch. Because right now is the normal rate that we have for a Vault event. The previous one was buffed way more than normal. Started playing again 2 weeks ago. Where do you think Iron Gut will be in Soulforge? He has not happened yet this rotation, so he could be any time from next week to about 2 months from now or so. But he could be there next week. It's completely luck-based, though. We're on a relatively new rotation, and it rotates through every single mythic once before it repeats them. And he has yet to happen this rotation. However, most mythics have yet to happen yet this rotation, because it reset not too recently ago. I mean, recently ago, I mean. So, but yeah, it could be any time from, like, next week to any time from, like, 2 months from now. To save your 4,000 diamonds, and he'll be around soon. But yeah, Iron God is single-handedly the best troop you can have for delves. If you could have any one troop to assist you in delves, Iron God is the most potent option. He cannot be used in every delve in the game. However, for every single delve he can be used for, he is the pretty much most meta option you can use. And most of the teams you can build with him to make him function are pretty cheap. Like, you can use him as cheap as, like, Mountain Crusher, Apothecary, him, and, like, Mirage Queen or something. And boom, you're good to go. All really cheap components. No, there's not really a proper way to grind for diamonds. The closest thing there is doing a gnome event like we are right now. But the rate of diamonds is like 10 per hour, if even that. And you have a chance of getting 50 off of a Volky. Also, a very small chance of getting 20 and 50 off a Jewel Gnome. But you tend to get more off of the 2 and 5 that you get from a normal gnome than you do from a Jewel Gnome. But no, there's not really a good direct way of farming diamonds. So theoretically, participating in this vault event would get you slightly more diamonds over time. But it's kind of luck-based if you do or don't. The only real way to get diamonds is to do your daily dungeons every single day. And if you want to get it a little bit higher than that, also buy the 50 gem pack every single day. Particularly on Sundays, because Sundays is always good value. You should always go for the pack on Sunday. The other days are very optional if they're worth it or not. However, Sunday it is always worth throwing 50 gems for the diamond pack. I do it, and I don't even need diamonds. It's because it's such good value. Hey, Jewel Gnome. But that's the one that can drop 20 and 50 diamonds. They're both exceedingly rare, though. And if she drops a Volky, that also has a chance of doing 50 diamonds. Unfortunately, she normally gives those useless jewels, though. Also, if you're not already, I believe the 10th task of the normal tasking guild give you diamonds. If your guild isn't already getting to that point. And that adds up to be 150 diamonds a week. Should you upgrade vault troops? No, there's no point. They're not associated to a kingdom. And they're all useless other than Cedric. Cedric's the only vault troop you should ever bother upgrading. And technically Heart of Rage once that gets added to the game as well. But that's not a troop yet. But as far as vault troops are concerned, Cedric Sparkle Sack is the only good one at the moment. Also, when you do upgrade him, make sure you have 7 copies and not 6. Because if you upgrade him when you have 6 down to 1 copy, you can't use 2 of him in a team. Hello, Brishka! Welcome. Hey, we got a snake. I think I already have that max, though. Go check it after this battle. Pretty sure it's already maxed, though. Let's see. No, don't use a major blue on your Valraven. Don't do that. Don't use major blues on any of your gnome troops. Until they make some kind of function in the game that actually makes them good, I wouldn't really bother. Like if we get like a Vault Kingdom or something like that. But in the current state of the game, I would never waste a major blue on a Vault troop. Some people did just for completionist sake. But like people who have way too many major blues who already crafted Zugoff and everything. But I would not advise it unless they add something that would actually make it worth it. Oh yeah, it's been pretty calm in South Carolina. They really overly hyped that hurricane that came around. It wasn't that bad at all. I think it even was went down from a Category 1 just to Tropical Storm by the time it actually made landfall. But no, never even lost electricity, so it was pretty calm. Is the Valraven useful? No. All the gnome troops are useless except Cedric. He said something with Guardians and Guild Seals. Did you say all of them have to be level 20 fully traded to get non-Guardians? Yes, that is correct. All 12 of the Guardian troops all 12 of them have to be upgraded to, well, every single individual one of them that is upgraded to level 20, fully traded, fully ascended, will stop dropping from the drop table, which ends up thinning out the drop table. And eventually, once you have all 12 of them fully maxed out, you will no longer get any of them anymore. And at that point, your seal keys basically become gem keys. Yes, we ran out of codes. We have for a couple days now. So I'm incapable of giving out codes. There's a good chance we might have some more on Monday, though. Hopefully. But as it currently stands, we've been out since Friday or Saturday night. I mean, gosh, I'll say it right eventually. We've been out since Thursday night, which means all Friday and all of today we haven't had any codes. But hopefully we will again soon. Wasn't there something else I was going to go check? Completely forgot what it was now. I was going to do something after that set, and now completely forgot now. Let's see, I think someone asked something about something. I'm not sure what it was. Oh yeah, I was going to check the pet copies. I'm pretty sure we already have it maxed, but I wanted to check just in case. Also tribute. Yeah, I already got it maxed, that's what I thought. Just wanted to check just in case. Sometimes I think they're upgraded for like months, and then I click on them and it's like, oh wait, it's not actually upgraded. I've been getting a really high concentration of pets we've already had. Though realistically, it is way more likely we'll find one we already have maxed than one that we don't have maxed. If anyone still has any other questions, do let me know. We'll probably finish one more set after this. Actually, we'll go till we find one more gnome. And then we'll probably call it a wrap for the night. I have first world problems. I can't find a pet I haven't already maxed. Yeah, we'll go till we find a gnome. Essence of Evil double Psychorax with Queen Beatrix. I've used that team before, but with one Psychorax. I don't actually own two Psychoraxes. Oh, never mind. It's two Beatrix, not two Psychorax. But yeah, it works pretty well. You just infinite loop the thing, as long as she doesn't end up missing the thing. Essence of Evil to disable and Psychorax for the full mana onto green. We've ran something very similar before. Not exactly that, though. It was good. I'm just not as huge a fan of Beatrix compared to Truffle, personally. It does have that good anti-freeze, though. I mean, anti-cleanse, or the cleanse that it has, which can anti-freeze and other abilities. Yeah, the main reason I like Truffle more than Beatrix personally is its consistency. Beatrix is an insanely good troop though, but I feel like Beatrix is most usable in Guild Wars, mostly because of all the effects that it counters. Outside of Guild Wars, I do not really care for using Beatrix normally. I feel like Guild Wars is the only location I actually use her in. While she is usable pretty much everywhere, I don't care for her as much compared to other options in anywhere that isn't Guild Wars. Because Guild Wars, you got a lot of stats effects you got to deal with, mostly freeze, but also entangle quite often, and occasionally a few others. Oh, there's our one gnome. What do we get? A Volky. Ah, 5 diamonds. Oh, those were the diamonds I was talking about. But you can get about 10 diamonds an hour by doing this, or average or so. As you can see, there's 5 of them right there. You get the most off a treasure gnome. However, one lucky Volky and you can get 50 diamonds from it. Anyways, guys, any other questions? You got your first Amarak. Nice. As well as your first Cedric. Very nice. And you got your first Volky today. Nice, Chad. Hopefully you get something good off it. Let's see. But yeah, any other questions, anyone? Let me know. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your weekend. We will be back tomorrow night to go over any spoilers for the upcoming week. Same time as always, 1 hour prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also be grinding out the Vault event and hopefully hitting a little bit higher on Volkies. Though we're still able to find one to stream at least, if nothing else. And we got 100 gems from it, so at least we got something good. And other than that, yeah, make sure to farm the Vault event. We still have another like 5 days to go get the Mythic. So if you still want to go do that with all your Monday keys, you still can, or any keys that you get from this weekend. Let's see, your Vault key counter is it an independent feature? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Oh, you mean the one in the bottom right? Yes. I just update it manually. And it just keeps track of how many Vault keys we have this week. And I just keep updating it manually. But we found 6 this weekend. We found 35 last weekend. The big old 35. But that was a buffed event, which is why it was so high. We normally average about 10, I would say, per weekend. More often than not. Is Amarak, Child of Summer, Urskia Crown, and Lava Troll good? Yes, Lava Troll's pretty good with Amarak. I haven't really been using it much just because I was concerned it would over accumulate them, but it does end up working out pretty well. Other than that, Child of Summer, yes, I did it for the video too. The Red Storm on it is a good alternative if you're not using Sunspear. And Urskia Crown, I'm not sure about having it that far back. Normally you'd would want to have it in first slot with a triple damage hero class and just use it up there and it'll end up working out pretty good. But yeah, you wouldn't really need it in that far back, I would say. Then again, it does have a backup summon. But you're backup summoning over top of Amarak, which you definitely don't want your Amarak dying. But I don't know. Triple damage, I feel like more often than not with that Mythic, you're going to use triple damage burning hero class in first slot, assuming you have one. More often than not. Though you can use the Mythic depending on what you're up against in first instead. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there. Don't do anything reckless. And I'll catch you guys soon. And as I mentioned, we'll be back tomorrow, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hour prior to now tomorrow. Have a wonderful weekend, and enjoy the holiday. The International Cat Day. Well, I guess it's kind of funny, because didn't we have like a major holiday that they didn't do this for, yet they ended up bringing it out for International Cat Day? I find that pretty funny. I think there was like a really major holiday that went by that we thought they were going to do one for, then never did. I think it was Easter, actually, wasn't it? Or was it Easter? I don't remember. But they didn't end up doing it for like some kind of really big holiday. And then for International Cat Day, it's like, let's go do it. I find that kind of funny. But anyways, guys, catch you guys later.